Shortly after Israel's parliament ratified the first bill of a judicial overhaul sought by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a woman in jeans and a black t-shirt walked up to a stage in front of thousands of protesters in Jerusalem on Monday. Holding up an Israeli flag and a rose, Shikma Bressler told the roaring crowd not to despair.
שוחחתי בימים האחרונים עם המונים מכם, וגם אתמול עמדתי פה על הבמה. לכל מי שדיברתי איתו היה ברור שיש סיכוי שהחוק הזה יעבור. אז תרימו כולם את הראש, קחו אוויר, הביטו סביב, בואו נגבה את כל אלה שיצטרכו לבחור בתקופה הקרובה בין אור לחושך, בין דיקטטורה לדמוקרטיה. יש לנו אחד את השנייה, מעכשיו וקדימה, ויש לנו מצפן, ויש לנו מצפון, ואנחנו נהיה דמוקרטיה.
The 43-year-old physics professor, a mother of 5, is no stranger to protesting. In 2020, she took part in demonstrations outside Netanyahu's residence in Jerusalem against his alleged corruption. But when Justice Minister announced at the start of the year the government's plan to overhaul the judicial system, Bressler found herself at the forefront of months-long nationwide and unprecedented protests. Clutching the nation's blue and white flag, which has become an emblem of the anti-overhaul movement, and sitting on the outskirts of a tent city erected in Jerusalem outside Parliament, Brussels' voice is raspy and strained from days and weeks of chanting and protesting. The majority of Israelis are against the judicial overhaul in its current form, Bressler said, adding that her co-protesters came from all sectors, areas and political parties in Israel.
There will be no normal life in Israel if this legislation passes. But what I do want to say is that within these movements that have been created, that consist of really the vast majorities of Israelis, as I said, from all sectors, all the country, all political parties, I think that what we are actually doing is backing up each other, right? To be able to, that each one will be able to speak up, stands on his and her own rights, and take the right decision when time comes. And I think that each one of us will be facing a decision-making time in the near future. Clearly what is happening right now, it's not an anti-Netanyahu protest. It was never an anti-Netanyahu protest. It's a pro-democratic protest. Netanyahu and his government of extremists dragging us down the rabbit hole. But I believe that by backing up each other, by showing to those gatekeepers that the majority of people support them in taking right decisions, this is what they will do. I think, I hope, that this current legislation will be ruled out by the Supreme Court, and that later on the other, gatekeepers will do their job and stick to the law and not to the government.
Hours after Bressler's interview, Parliament passed a legislation amendment limiting the Supreme Court's powers to avoid some government decisions if it deemed them unreasonable. While Bressler understands that movement she's helped lead for the past 7 months is not guaranteed to succeed, she remains hopeful.
First of all, I'm always hopeful. You're not going out every week for 7 months if you're not hopeful. It's just, people come to me and say, look, we are desperate. No, guys, you are here. If you are here, you're hopeful by definition. Again, desperate people do not do. But I'm hopeful because, you see the beauty of this country. And after many years where we were kind of seeing that things are going in a wrong direction, but feeling that maybe we are the only one who feels this way, and where is everybody? All of a sudden you see that, oh my God, here is everybody. They are all here. And it's huge majority of the people, so I'm hopeful for that. I know that, the heart of the people, the majority of them is in the right place. It still doesn't mean that we are going to succeed. but we have the best people to fight with and the best values to fight for. So what else can you ask for, right?
Netanyahu's coalition has been determined to push back against what it describes as overreach by a Supreme Court that it says has become too politically interventionist in order to restore balance between Israel's ruling authorities.